Om. 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 Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Aim Saraswate Namaha. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrasham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Saravadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Adorations to the Divine Preceptor, who is the bliss of Brahman, the giver of supreme joy, the embodiment of pure consciousness, beyond the pairs of opposites, vast like the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond all modifications. To that divine Guru, I offer my adorations. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. Our humble Sashtang pranams at the holy lotus feet of Pujya Gurudev, Pujya Shri Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj of Yoga Research Foundation, Miami, Florida. Pranams to all saints and sages of the entire world. The Mystery of the Soul, Katha Upanishad, translated into English by Pujya Gurudev, Pujya Shri Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj of Yoga Research Foundation, Miami, Florida. Divine Atmans, my own very self, blessed self, adorations. The Mystery of the Soul, Katha Upanishad, Day 14. Chapter 1, Section 2, Mantra number 2. So Day 14, Chapter 1, Section 2, Mantra number 1. So on Day 13, we covered the Shray Marg and the Pray Marg. So the Shray Marg is the one that leads, marg or path. It leads one towards liberation. So one is good while the other one is pleasant. Pleasant means it's outer world enjoyment. You still enjoy, you have fun, you like it, but it is temporary. And it points you towards the outer world and towards the repeated birth and death cycle. Whereas the Shray Marg is the auspicious good path that leads one towards liberation, to get out from the birth and death cycle. So the Shray and the Pray are distinct from each other because of the four factors. The four factors, I'm just recapping, the four factors for both of them. are the nature, that means Swarupa, sadhana, the means through which you reach the goal or you reach whatever you want to achieve, and then praman is the authority. What is the authority? How, which scripture or scriptures, or what is the authority that allows you or lets you do that? And number 4 is adhikari, the qualification. Just like when a boy or a girl, they want to go to the club, there is age limit. So that is, I'm talking about the pray mark. So if they are wanting that, then the word adhikari comes in, which means qualification. So is that boy qualified to enter the club? So adhikari means the main test there is age. So does he have that age? Are you that person who was born in this year? Where is your ID? That's what they will ask. So to let the boy in. So adhikari, is he qualified to enter? So adhikari, the qualifications required to continue, or are you qualified to for the 4 factor, for what any of that factor? And then in case of Shreya mark, so those 4 are in general applicable to both the Shreya and the Pray. So Shreya is Shreya, and Pray is Preya. The nature of Shreya is eternal, blissful, Atman, it's forever. And the means, which we have covered yesterday, that means understanding the Mahavakya, the great utterance, which is I am Brahman, and the Jiva, the soul, and the Brahman, the absolute, through the understanding. So, and then meditation. The authority is Vedantic scriptures. Adhikari is qualified student of Shreya, must be endowed with the Chatushtaya. So I will just repeat the Chatushtaya, which is Vivek, discrimination, Vairagya, dispassion, Shat Sampat, once again, serenity, self-control, renunciation, endurance, faith, and tranquility. And then the last one is mumukshutva, the burning aspiration for God realization. Whereas in the case of Premarg, the path of Pre means the pleasant side of it, the outward side, the worldly pleasures. So it's the passing pleasures of the sense objects constitute the nature of Pre. That means the nature is because they want to have pleasant happiness, but it's temporary. Performance of actions that are selfish continues the means of Premarg, so selfish actions. Karma portion of Vedas is the authority of the path of Premarg. So your karma, what type of karma do you want to develop or have? And then the man with desire is the qualified person of the path of pleasure. So you got to have that desire to be attracted to the world, outer world. So thus, these 2 paths are different and mutually exclusive. Those who follow the path of Shreya do not fall away from the true end of life. So mantra number 2, the good and the pleasant present themselves before men. But a wise man, having examined them both, understands the good as distinct from the pleasant. He considers the path of good greater than the path of pleasure. Why? Why does he consider the path of good better or greater than the path of pleasure? That means the path of good is Shreya Marg and the path of pleasure is Praya Marg, kind of dragging you downwards. Because the reason is the former leads to supreme blessedness. That means the Shreya Marg leads you to supreme blessedness, liberation. But men with dull intellects follow the path of pleasure and pursue worldly achievements. An aspirant reflects thus over the two paths, Shreya and Praya, the good and the pleasant. All beings strive for the attainment of unalloyed bliss and the cessation of all pain. But the more they endeavor madly, to attain maximum happiness, the more they become entangled in the mesh of the world process. They find happiness moving away from them. Why? Because they are performing actions with desire. People adopt different means of earning wealth. Having earned wealth, they engage themselves in the satisfaction of desires. They perform ishta karmas such as the performance of sacrifices, yagnas, etc. for the attainment of desires and objects of personal need. They perform purta karmas such as charity, building dharamshalas, places of refuge, digging wells, etc. for the society. These actions bring fame in this world and heavenly enjoyments after death. So, but when the good karmas are exhausted, they come back into the mortal world. Thus, like the pitchers used to draw water up from a well, those following the path of prayer have mistaken the objects to be the source of joy. This is the cause of all forms of afflictions. These very objects are the seeds for the origination of the miseries of life. How are they the cause of miseries? A man filled with desire acquires wealth with much difficulty. He has to suffer intense pain. When the objects are acquired, he has to suffer still with the apprehension of losing those objects, for there is no security for the objects. They may move on to some other deserving person. When the objects are acquired, he has to suffer still with the apprehension of losing those objects. So, prior to that, the sentence was, a man filled with desire acquires wealth with much difficulty. He has to suffer intense pain. When the objects are acquired, he has to he has to suffer still with the apprehension of losing those objects, for there is no security for the objects. They may move on to some other deserving person, or undesirable objects may come. The fear of losing the object of desire and of encountering unknowing objects always torments always torments the heart of man. His heart is ever on fire. Further, he has to suffer from the fear of losing his body and his relatives, mother, father, wife, son, guru, and so on. The fear of losing one's relatives causes intense agony. There is fear So further he has to suffer from the fear of losing his body and his relatives. The fear of losing one's relatives causes intense agony. There is fear for the future destiny of the soul. One does not know what type of body he will get after death. He has to suffer from three major miseries. So just know this. Three major miseries are adhyatmic, which is subjective, pertaining to the body and mind. Adhibautic, that means objective, pertaining to the objects of the world, such as thieves, tigers, etc. So you don't create yourself, but it's from other animals or other beings that you are suffering, which is called adhibautic. Adhidevik, so there are the three ways: adhyatmic, adhibautic, and adhidevik. Adhyatmic is caused by your own self, pertaining to your own body and mind, and adhyatmika, which is objective, it pertains to objects of world such as thieves, tigers, etc. They cause trouble for you. So Adi Devik is the divine, pertaining to the divine agency, such as flood, earthquake, etc. No one has control over that. It is by nature. So it is called Adi Devik. Just like there is tsunami, there is hurricane, there is flooding. All these are Adi Devik, beyond the control or comprehension of human beings. So there is no object which could be the means of happiness. The pleasant objects seem to give happiness in the beginning, but at the end they give rise to painful consequences. A man lacking discrimination runs after the pleasures of the world, considering them to be the highest So, but a man of discrimination, having understood the mysteries on the path of pleasure, allows the path of the good with a resolute will. So, you have to have a very strong willpower. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So today I will read just a small story continuing from yesterday to mark Sri Krishna Janmashtami Leela, the drama of Lord Krishna. So continuing from yesterday, we talked about Gopi Geet and Rasa Leela, the dancing of Lord Krishna with the gopis, and these two gopis were dancing with Lord Krishna at one time, and everywhere every gopi felt like he is only dancing with me and I am the best. But in fact Lord Krishna multiplied himself, and he was with Gopika Geet, Gopyo Uchuhu. So I will just do shloka number 1 or maybe 2 also. It's quite long, and it's just in a simple way. This is how it is if you want to Google and listen. Jayati tedikam janmana vrajah Shrayata indira Shashwadatrahi Dayita Drushyatam Dikshutavakas Tvaidhrita Savas Tvam Vichinvate Sharadudashaye Sadhujata Sarasi Jodara Shri Mushadrasha Suratanathate Shukadasika Varadanignato Neha Kim Vadaha. So it's very touching, very emotional that the gopis sang this Gopi Geet, and hearing this Gopi Geet, Lord Krishna showed up because he hid himself, because these gopis had developed ego in them, and he said, let me teach them a lesson. So, and let me test them also. So this is what he did, but later he came out after they sang this Gopi Geet, and everyone thought, oh, I think we saw, because they saw some footsteps, and they thought he went alone with Radha. So the continuing story from yesterday is the topic is the last judgment. So portrayed in the language of love. Although the melody of Krishna is always there, the soul does not hear it due to ignorance. However, when there is purity of heart and mind, you become aware of the melody of eternity. that transcends all, and it transforms your existence. So it's very important to have clean heart, pure heart and mind, just like the clean mirror or the very clean stagnant lake water. Then the reflection is very clear also. So such awareness can come to you at any moment, whether you are engaged in busily serving others or seated in meditation, whether it is night or day, whether you are walking or sitting. The divine experience does not depend upon any external situation, nor does it knock upon your door and wait for you to invite it in. That experience comes all of a sudden like a lightning flash. This same point has been brought out in the Bible in the description of the last judgment. Lord Jesus speaks about a last judgment that can come suddenly at any time without giving a person prior warning. If you are on the rooftop, there will be no time to come down, because it will just happen like a lightning. So this biblical portrayal of the last judgment sometimes evokes in the ignorant mind a feeling of tremendous terror, a fear of the coming of a great calamity. However, Jesus was merely implying that at the moment of enlightenment, the whole world of relativity is pierced by a transcendental understanding. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the last judgment is portrayed in the language of love as the Rasalila. Like the gopis dancing, they came running to the flute that was being played by Lord Krishna. So the language of love is the Ras Leela, in which the whole world becomes transfigured into a divine dance. In this dance, you experience the shattering of all illusions and face the ultimate truth, which is all love, all bliss. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Karacharanakritam va Kayajam Karmajam va Shravananayanajam va Manasam va Paradham Vihitam Vihitam va Sarvametakshamasva. Jai Jai Karunabde Shri Mahadev Shambho. जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो. जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो. समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु. समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु. ओम Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Divine love, light, peace, prosperity, blessings, bliss, Shakti, Bhakti, Mukti to each one of you and your near and dear ones. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranatakleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namah. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranatakleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namah. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranatakleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namah. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is Swami Lalita Priyananda from Sacramento, California. Hari Om Tat Sat.